I'll be real honest with you. I never met a child that I didn't like, but there were some parents I didn't like. How many of you know what I'm not? And you have to realize it's not always you. There's probably something else going on in their life. But what we have to do is we have to try. And so if you start off on a positive note and you do some activities, then when there's an issue, you have something to pull from and something to draw from. So I'm going to show you some ideas. And most of these are on my website. They're free, drjean.org, if you just click on Parent Resources. So one of the things I wanted to share with you are the little monthly reading calendars. How many of you already do these? Okay. And it's so simple. I've got them on my website. I've also got these translated into Spanish. So this would go home at the beginning of each month. And like for October, it says, color one pumpkin for each 5 to 10 minutes of reading. Return the completed sheet by the end of the month. So this helps the parents, and it helps you with documentation. You save these, and when you have your parent conference, you get these out and you say, let's see how you're doing. And one of the teachers asked me, she said, would you reward the children who brought them back? Absolutely not. Children are not responsible for their parents. They can't help it. But if you have one parent that reads to their kids because of this, that's a good thing. Another thing that I have free that you can download every month, it's an activity calendar. And these are actually things that we're teaching in our curriculum, but it's a way for parents to reinforce the skills at home. They don't know that they should be saying nursery rhymes to their children. They don't know their child should know their first and last name. I mean, we had a little boy in Georgia, honey, what's your name? Bubba. No, your first and last name, Bubba Bubba, you know. So this monthly activity calendar, you know, says when you're driving down the road, look for geometric shapes. My own daughter saw this and she said, Mom, that's really cool. And I said, Holly, would you do those things? And she said, yeah, I just don't think to do those things. So this is another one. You send it home at the beginning of the month, fill in 5 to 10, return it by the end of a month. A good way to get the parents to do some of those things with their kids. Now, I've also got these little brain tickets. We want parents to ask their kids what they did at school. What'd you learn at school? So you can download these off my website, or you can buy those little ticket packets at the office supply store. At the end of each day, you have the children tell you something new that they learned, and then you give them a brain ticket. And you tell the parents, each day your child is going to bring home a brain ticket. It's your job to ask your child what they did to earn the brain ticket. Because otherwise they go home, Mom and Dad say, what'd you do today? Nothing, we played. Now, when you first start doing this, you're going to say, you know, tell me something new you learned today, and they're going to go, duh. But if you do this every day, yeah, sometimes people give up on things. It never works when you do it the first time. You have to do it over and over and over again. In fact, one teacher said she color-coded these. The brain tickets for September were red. The brain tickets for October were orange. The brain tickets for November were brown. So you could do that too. What are they worth? They're not worth anything, but the kids don't care. You know, you can even encourage the parents to get like a Pringles can, make a little slit in the top, and save your brain tickets in there. It's just something fun for the kids to do. I've also got these little conversation starters that you can send home, and you might not do all of the things, like if you don't do snack at your school or something, you wouldn't use those, but these are little conversation starters. So before they go home at the end of the day, they choose one, and then their parents ask them about, like, ask me about my story, or ask me who I played with, or ask me about our art project. So again, it gives the parents something specific to do. There is a school district in Georgia, and they do these little home journals. So each day, at the end of the day, the kids draw a picture about what they did at school and dictate. Later on in the year, they can write a sentence about it. It goes home every day. The parents talk to them about it. They sign it and send it back the next day. So again, this is just another way to get the children to talk to their parents about what they did and be specific about it, and get the parents involved with that. Now, I've got a few ideas to help the parents get to know who you are. One of the things that you might want to do, anchor charts are really big. So you do an anchor chart about yourself. And every day at your morning meeting time, you hold this up, and they get to ask you a question about one of the pictures. So instead of you just telling, they learn to ask a question about one of the pictures. So probably the first one they would ask me about is, what? That's my favorite food, hamburgers. Okay, I wasn't going to put a beer up here, but no, I'm just kidding. So you do that, our anchor chart, and they get to know about you. And then you could ask each family to do an anchor chart about their child. And, first when I thought about this, I thought a poster, and then I thought, holy cow, you try to put up 24 posters with, so you might want to just give them a sheet of construction paper, and that would be a little bit easier. But, if one child did these, then again, at the beginning of the day, you could have each child take a different day, and they could talk about themselves. Now, this one is a real simple idea. I have a few too many things up here, don't I? Well, I'll just tell you about it. Pick one up. No, I'll just take. This one is so simple. This teacher said before school started, she asked the parents to write me a letter about your child. Write me a letter. I mean, how kind and open-ended is that? That I care enough to want to know about your child. And, you can include siblings, you can include pets, and the parents are doing all the work. And some of them might write a paragraph, and some of them might write 3 pages, and that tells you a lot about their child, too. Another idea, and all of these are on my website. You can go there and you can download this. That I liked, when you have your first parent conference, that you have cheers and goals, and you have the parents write down cheers, 3 positive cheers about your child, and then 3 goals that you have for your child this year. And you say, this is what I can do to accomplish these goals. What can you do to help your child accomplish these goals? Because it's always, well, the teacher has to do this, you have to do this. And, it's a partnership. You have to do those things with me. And then I also wanted to tell you about the brown bag special. The more you get parents to do for you, the better teacher they think you are. I don't know why. Has anybody ever had a parent that just complained all the time? Well, keep them busy, all right? And some parents have time and can come in and volunteer. Some can't. So this brown bag special, you get a big grocery bag. And you write a note home to the parents. I know a lot of you work and feel guilty because you can't come in and volunteer. So I have a perfect opportunity for you. It's called the Brown Bag Special. And if you need things run off on the internet, like would you go to Dr. Jean's website and download all of her 1,000 pages, or whatever, you get them to do it. If you have a parent that doesn't have a lot of money or resources, you send home the orange paper and the pattern for the pumpkin and let them cut out your 25 pumpkins or whatever. But the teacher who shared this idea said she would give the kids the brown bag special, and they were like, I have the brown bags, and they were so excited to take it home and share. The children love to have their parents come in. Again, just another way to validate what they do. And my presentation is on the floor. One other thing I wanted to mention, I have on my blog, my website, I have, for each month, I have all sorts of songs and finger plays and things that the parents can do with their children. And one teacher told me at the beginning of the school year when she had her parent meeting, she told the parents, every child in my room needs a laptop this year. 2 laptops would be even better. These are not the kind of laptops you plug in. They're the kind of laptops that come with 2 knees, and they're just right for talking and reading and singing and loving. I think if we could just ask each parent 15 minutes a day, just turn off your devices, turn it off, get down on the floor, talk to them, read. You don't have to plan anything, just get down on the floor. And people say to me, well, I bet your grandkids like you better I bet they like you a lot. And I always tell them, they like my husband better. And you know why? Because I'm always trying to teach him something, do something with him, and he just gets down on the floor and he sits there. And if we could just get more parents just to sit there, and let their child come to them. It's just like in the car. A lot of schools, they have pickup, they tell the parents, No, nothing on in the car except the car. You know, that's your. How many of you have seen parents pick their kids up with their cell phone and they're texting and they're not talking? And you know what? Parents don't know any better. Nobody has told them. And it's so easy, isn't it, just to hand them a screen? And so you have to be the ones that say, you know, when you pick your child up, if you pick your child up from school, you know, have it off. Or when you pick them up from the child care center, or when you get home from work, just turn everything off for a few minutes and get down on the floor and just spend time talking and listening to your children. So I worry about the parents. Our parents have heavy loads to carry. We've got a lot of single parents and anything that we can do to support them. And it's such a missed opportunity. They don't realize in about 7 or 8 years, their kids are going to be teenagers and they're not going to want to spend time with them. This is the one time that they have to talk to them and ask them about school. You can also tell them, research shows, the more you talk to your children about school, the more you ask them questions, the more involved your kids are going to do better academically. So, you know, everybody wants their child to be successful in school. Well, let me tell you what you can do to be successful too. So, if you learned one new thing this afternoon, would you put your thumb up next to your chest? If you learned 2 new things to do in your classroom, would you hold up 2 fingers? And would you kiss those 2 fingers? And kiss your brain, and thank you for coming this afternoon. And I'll be available if you have any questions, if you want to look at the rest of the presentation all over the floor.